Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Natalie. I've been taking you with me on a journey to trace my Jamaican family history through colonial archives, ship records, parish registers, and wherever else the trail leads. Some weeks I find some things, some weeks I hit a wall. This week, mostly walls, but the walls were interesting, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Jamaica, specifically the Registrar General's Department in Jamaica, which holds a lot of the records I need for the next stage of this search. So names, documents, vital records, the stuff that would help me go back further in this particular line. And here's the thing. Their systems are currently down, which means if I want to access that information, I actually have to be there in person to submit a request, pay by money order, and then it goes into a queue. And I want to be clear, I'm not complaining about that. I get it. Resources are limited. This kind of archival work is underfunded everywhere, and especially in the Caribbean, where so much of history is heavy and the institutions doing the work are stretched. So I respect the process, but what it means practically is that until I can get to Jamaica, and I will get to Jamaica, that door is closed to me right now. So we pivot. So I started with what I know about John Stuart Headley, and I started asking, where could he have come from? And this is where it gets interesting, because there's another Headley who, as you know, I've been circling around. You may have heard of him, George Headley, one of the greatest cricketers to ever play the game. Well, he was born in Panama, grew up in Cuba. His father, De Courcy Headley, was from Barbados, and his mother, Irene, is Jamaican. And eventually the kids come back to Jamaica, where they go to school and grow up. Now, the dates I have for John Stuart Headley, they line up. He could have been born in Panama or in Cuba. And from what I was told growing up, from the stories that came down through my family, that tracks. Now, I want to be careful here. I am not yet saying John Stuart Headley and George Headley are connected. I don't have proof, but what I'm saying is the geography fits and the timeline fits, and it's a thread that I haven't let go of. So I started searching birth records in Panama, then birth records in Cuba, and then passenger lists. Now these are lists of people who traveled from Barbados and Jamaica to Panama to work on the canal, because that was a whole migration. Tens of thousands of Caribbean men and women who went to Panama for construction work. These are people who left home, crossed waters, built something enormous. Many people died, and they left fragments of themselves in records, in manifests, and labor rosters. And I am in those records looking for one man. I can't find him. Part of the problem is I'm not even sure John is his real name. It could have been a nickname, a shortened version of something else. It could have been written down differently by whoever was holding the pen at the time. And we know how that goes. Names get anglicized, abbreviated, misheard, misrecorded, especially if you are a Black man from the Caribbean in the early 20th century. The record wasn't built to find you. So then I thought, okay, let's look at this from a different angle. If there is a Headley connection, maybe I can find it through George Headley's father, De Courcy Headley, who came from Barbados. And I looked. And with some help from you guys, I actually found a De Courcy Headley who arrived in Panama from Barbados. And for a moment, just a moment, I thought I had it. I thought, this is it. This is the thread. And then I looked at the dates. They don't line up with George Headley's father. This man is not the right to Corsi. And beyond that, it appears that he did not have any sons. Another door that looks like a door and isn't. But this is the work, y'all. This is genuinely what it is. I want to be honest with you about something because I think it's important. Going through these records, and specifically going through records of enslaved people, is exhausting in a way that's hard to describe if you've never done it before. Your eyes get tired, you're squinting at handwriting, at scanned documents, at images of pages that were already faded when they were photographed decades ago. But it's not just physical. There's a weight to it. Something that sits underneath the research that doesn't announce itself as grief exactly, or anger. It's somewhere in between. Some days I genuinely want to throw my computer across the room. Not at anything, just away from me. And then there's the names. I keep coming across enslaved people who were given the names of their enslavers or named after their enslavers' family members, and watching those names carried forward generation after generation. It's not neutral. It was never neutral. It was a mark deliberately placed. You will carry this, and your children will carry this, and their children will carry this, and long after the system that created you ends, you will still be walking around with our name on you. That feels mean to me. Intentionally calculated mean. And it makes me want to do this even more, because underneath all of those names, there were people. And I want to know who they were before someone else decided what they would be called. So that's where I am this week. John Stuart Headley, my great-grandfather, my grandmother's father, is still, for now, a man who came from nowhere. The registrar in Jamaica is waiting. Panama hasn't given him up yet. Cuba hasn't either. But I'm not done. The next step, when that door opens, is Jamaica, and I will be there. There is more to uncover from here, I'm sure. And if you're on this journey with me, thank you. Genuinely. Drop a comment. Tell me if any of this resonates. Tell me if you're doing your own family research and what you're finding. This community keeps me going on the weeks when the records don't. I'll see you on the next one.